Rob, how are you?
Yeah, fantastic. I'm in the shed. I'm loving it. I'm in the shed.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a break from the kids. Obviously, the kids are driving, I suppose, everyone mad, driving me mad. I'm teaching George, whose eldest one's 7.
Yeah.
I'm teaching him French at the minute because that's part of his curriculum. They're just doing come on to Pal 2, all that sort of thing. What's your name, your age, and all that stuff. And actually, when this happened, because obviously we probably all did a bit of French at school. When this happened, I thought, wow, we're going to have loads of spare time. Let's try and use it to sort of like better yourself. I thought I can get my fishing kit done. I can get a few like videos and stuff done. And I thought, what else can I do? And I actually downloaded on my phone, sort of a revisiting French.
What did you do? Rebecca Stone, did you?
Yeah, so I thought if I could do that, but I thought we'd still be able to sort of, this is obviously the week before, I thought we'd still be able to sort of like drive around, and I thought obviously some long journeys, I might be able to like listen to some French on my phone, a podcast sort of style, and try and learn French again. But so far, I'm on primary school level French. I've not quite got up to where I sort of finished off at when I left school.
Is George ahead of you at this point then?
No, he's not. He's not. And his concentration is horrendous as well. His concentration is absolutely horrendous, which really winds me up.
As my wife said, who's a teacher, lots of parents across the country are about to find out that the teacher isn't the problem.
Yeah, the teacher is not the problem. It's the kids. So we always say that. We all say that to George. The only time I'll back George up, I always, in front of everyone, I hammer George, my eldest lad. I'll absolutely hammer him, give him a load if he misbehaves. But I've said to him, the only time I'll sort of back him up is if he gets in trouble at school, or if he's fighting at school and it wasn't his fault and he takes it upon himself to sort of finish it off. I'll say, look, if they've started it, I'm backing you up, and I'll tell the teacher that.
Hang on.
But as far as academically, I want him to be concentrating. Where have you gone?
Hang on. Are you coming in? All right then. She wanted to be in on the big video, Robin, and then she's gone. Evie.
My youngest, what is he? He's 3 now and he's still wearing nappies, and it's like driving me mad. This morning, because I keep saying to him, look, you've got to do poo in the toilet, you get your sweets, and normal sort of thing. And that's winding me up as well, because I want everyone to conform, do what I want them to do, and no one's doing what I want them to do. And this morning, I seen him, and he's in the corner. I thought, he's having a dump there. And I thought, so I'm shouting over Monty's name. I went, Mom, what are you doing? Mom, what are you doing? And he looked up, like really sheepishly, and I walked over to him. Oh, shit all over the carpet, all of his back. He's just exploded out of his nappy. So I've had to have him in the shower this morning, and obviously finding out what it's like to be stay-at-home dad, I suppose.
The thing is, you do spend a lot of time at home with your kids anyway.
I do.
It's not a stock, is it, for you?
No, but obviously if you're at home and you're doing work on your computer, you're around your kids anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you do spend a lot of time, but I just didn't realise how 24/7, how much that takes out of you. So much. And, obviously you just whack them at childminders when you need to do something normally, and it's great. But 24/7 is just so hard. I'll tell you what, loads of people struggle, won't they?
Yeah, well, like the biggest thing I've got is trying to reduce screen time for them, because I spend too much time in front of the screen. We all do. But come 5 o'clock, you're like, I just want it. Just give me a break.
Yeah.
Stick Peppa Pig on.
Yeah, well, I'm the same. To be fair, we tried to get them watching not just rubbish stuff, flashy cartoon stuff.
So Blippy, don't they? Get on Blippy.
Yeah, well, yeah, things like that. I don't really mind stuff like that. But what I don't want is computer game stuff, or them little computer games where they've got the guy on the screen playing it, and just flashy, quick, really low attention span stuff. So those books, the Snail on the Whale, Gruff Below, all them sort of things that are nice, slow moving, half-hour long things. I try and get them watching them if they're going to watch something. But we've been playing football, and I'll take George up for a game of football if we get if his mind's in the right place. Or
anywhere on the football at the minute. I've just been playing now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is she chipping it into the bucket yet?
No, she isn't. She throws it in though.
Right. Okay.
She's only 2.5, so she's not doing bad.
Get her to that soft play in Market Harbour because there's
Yeah.
little basketball pitch in there.
Will do when it reopens. So,
Yeah.
so obviously we're doing the dad life at the minute. We're both trying to do what we can.
Yeah.
What is the master plan, Rob?
Tell you what, the master plan.
I ain't got one.
There's no master plan because no one knows what's going to happen. Everyone's just guessing. When will we get out again? I've just been preparing kit, so I've been making a lot of rigs. I've got more rigs in my tray than I've ever had, which obviously you know me, that isn't really that hard.
No. We're talking about 8 or 9.
Yeah, 8 or 9 rigs in the tray. I picked up some rigs this morning, and I thought, oh, do I retie them? Because I looked at them and I thought they've got a hook on, so I've also used them, and the shot's a little bit wide. But can I be? And I just put it back on the winder because I just thought I can't go. And then I actually took it off because I thought, got 3 weeks maybe still to go. Got plenty of time to tie it up.
Yeah.
So I've just retied everything in my box. Obviously, just getting kit ready, and then I'll whack a few videos out. Everyone, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Joe's channel. Subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything, and you might just get your fishing fix while all this is happening. Because there's loads of videos on both our channels, I guess, with everything, all throughout the year, sort of style fishing.
I mean, it's obviously it's difficult at the moment because we can't get out on the bank doing stuff. But I think it's quite nice because I watch a lot of podcasts. You watch a lot of podcasts, and I think there's a lot to be said for just having a conversation with somebody.
Yeah, of course you're getting your fix doing that. You're getting your fix doing that, and
you get a bit of tidbits, and you can get to learn. And it's almost like you know the people, then, isn't it?
And also, I don't know how people watch these sort of things, or whether they do sort of podcast them or just listen to them. But you can obviously listen to them on your headphones without watching, because let's face it, looking at two people's heads isn't the most exciting thing. You might as well just whack your headphones in and listen to it. I went out, took the dog out yesterday, had me hour walks, set the stopwatch for the hour, and went on the hour walk with the dog, and just had a podcast on.
Yeah,
it's
nice,
just get out of the house, away from screaming kids, and just
all you need in your life right now is Joey Diaz. That's all you need. Get him in your life, right?
Yeah.
Listen to him. I just love him. That's me.
I had the who did I have on this morning? The ex-military guy, the ex-Navy SEAL on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He was telling me he was talking about how no one's really prepared for stressful situations, and no one's really, they think they're prepared for it, but no one really is prepared for stressful situations or how bad things could possibly get, and how the media overreacts everything and hypes everything up.
Let's be honest, like the biggest concern that we've got as a household at the minute is getting an Asda slot. Other supermarkets are available, but getting your delivery slot is a case. Amy's going on at 3 a.m. to get them.
Well, I went to there's co-op just around the corner, just like where you live. There's a co-op around the corner from me, and they're obviously trying to take all the precautions, taping on the tape on the line to say you can't, tape on the floor to say you can't pass that line, but also spots where you can stand at the checkout, big guard in front of the checkout. The checkout girls, they're not wearing a mask or anything like that. They're just wearing gloves, and they've probably handled 100 people's groceries and money during that day. And you just think, what precautions is there actually out there? I'm not too sure.
No.
If you actually trace it back, I'm not too sure we're stopping much apart from coughing on each other.
Yeah, that's the big one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's just really tricky, isn't it? Because like I'm trying to, I know this is a terrible attitude to have, but I'm just trying to avoid all my fishing tackle at the minute.
Right.
Because I find it really difficult to prepare and stuff when I haven't got a goal at the end of it.
Like
I could be preparing loads of stuff for summer, and it's quite realistic that we might not get out till September. You don't know, do you? You don't know.
When do you think? Because obviously you watch the news a bit more than me. I don't get involved with all that.
Yeah,
so
I've gone down the rabbit hole, I must admit. No, I don't want to say. So I don't want to convey a negative message.
Do we not? Do you not think that in maybe 2 or 3 weeks they'll say, right, we're relaxing certain things. You can go and do certain things. If you work and it's very solid, a solitary job that you do, you can go and do that.
The worry for me is that we're not even in lockdown really yet.
No.
We've got that stage to come, I think, yet.
Right. But you think in maybe a week's time, 2 weeks' time, they could say, right, we've had enough now. The health service is stretched. We're locking it down.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back.
It's going to be a few more. going to be.
Then we'll go through different steps.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, everyone hopes I'm wrong, but I just don't know. I look at the figures each day of how many people have caught the virus, and you think it's going up, really, isn't it?
Yeah, quickly as well.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's difficult.
No one knows.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I say, I'm not really. So what I've been doing, Rob, and this might sound stupid, listening to a lot of music.
Right.
But actually listening to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Put your headphones on. Headphones on, no distractions, and just listening to it. And that's been quite nice.
Right.
Quite nice.
Yeah. I've as weird as it is, when I've got more time than ever, I've not had time.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
Because my wife's still working as well. She's a midwife.
Yeah.
So she's working 3 days a week, and obviously that conjured up so many discussions for us. Whether I said to her, look, pack it in, don't bother going, and just pack your job in, or try and take holiday. But obviously the health service, you can't. They said you're coming in, or there's disciplinary measures.
Yeah.
And then she was under the impression, and then we sort of come to the agreement that she took this job on to do it and to help people.
Yeah. Now's the time.
So this is the time to, step up, sort of thing. Yeah. That's how we took it. So now she's going to work 3 or 4 days a week, and I've got the kids on my own. I dread to think what someone is doing in a little flat with two, 3 kids. What they must be going mad. They must be going mad.
They must be going loopy, wouldn't they? It's just difficult, isn't it? Because I went out yesterday for a walk, and it's probably about an hour, same as what you did. And it was lovely, but it's just weird, isn't it? Don't you think it's
weird? Great. Yeah, it's a ghost town.
It's really weird.
Really weird.
Not that it's like where you live. It's not the busiest place, but it's there's always people about.
Yeah.
It wasn't yesterday.
No. So what job? So you've not done any fishing jobs?
No fishing jobs.
No fishing jobs. I've tied rigs. I'm going to make some feeder links.
I probably will do that, to be fair.
What, feeder links?
Yeah.
Yeah, feeder links. I've got some hooks to tie.
Yeah.
We've had the news that our World Champs is cancelled. Feed of World Champs is cancelled.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's in France. Everyone's uncertain. It's in July, so.
Is it cancelled, or are they just moving the date?
It's been cancelled as far as what we know. It's been cancelled. So we've done a bit of preparation for that. Bear in mind, it's sort of like 3 or 4 months away. We've not done a massive amount, but we've got hooks together and sort of like stuff like that. So I'm hoping I can go somewhere and use all that gear when obviously all this has ended. But like you, it's difficult to know when I'll get out fishing again. I wonder if I'll get the pole out.
The only thing I will say, obviously, with the feeder game and that, is you have your hooks, don't you? That you use everywhere anyway, so they're never going to go to waste.
No. So, I try, and as you know, I try and keep everything pretty simple as far as my kit's concerned. Hooks is in my field, though. I've got. I was showing Jake the other day, FaceTime Jake to show him how many hooks I've got, and the hooks that I just for South Africa, the hooks that I got together for South Africa was just unreal.
Yeah,
I've got piles and piles. They're in a tub here. Hang on. Look. We'll go through the hooks just for South Africa World Champs and see if we can add up the cost. So a load of Corda carp hooks.
Expensive.
£4.25 a pack. Air boosters, trade packs. Some blue hooks. Got a couple, two packs of these that we bought from the local tackle shop just to try them out.
In South Africa?
Yeah, in South Africa. A trade pack of each size of Mustad Mosquito Ultra Points. Never even put one on. Never even tied one up. Colmic NK 800 silver hook. Again, size 8, 12, 14s. Daiichis. We all got some Daiichis. Daiichis, which are very similar to a B983. Very similar to them. The B983. Might even be the same hook. I'm not going to say that they are, but they might even be the same hook. Daiichis. Matrix hair riggers. Then, when we were out there, we need some double barbs. Creluso double barbs. They've got 2 barbs on the point.
What's that in aid of? No escape.
I'm not sure. So I'm guessing that once they go in, they just obviously don't come out.
Yeah.
But I never even tied one up. And then we end up using, we've got more in here. Alan Scawthorne Power, the old Mustad Powers. These, got a tray pack of them. Then some B711s, if the fish was slightly smaller. Gamakatsu Power Carp. It's unreal, Joe. I reckon there's 300, 400 quid's worth of hooks.
And there's probably not a lot in there you'd ever use in this country. None of it.
That's why it stays in this box and it just gets put away. So we ended up using Gamakatsu A1s, team feeders.
Yeah.
Which I might have one of those here. That was just sort of like the carp hooks of South Africa. So,
which is probably a hook that you've probably used before as well, I guess.
It is, yeah. I had loads of them already. So it was just strange that because we all go hook mad whenever we go to a World Champs, and maybe we're quite fortunate that we were only halfway on that journey for France. So we got some hooks together, but obviously on our WhatsApp group or as we're talking, what hooks are we talking? What hooks do you want? Feeders, things like that. All those bits of kit that you need when you go out there. We're only halfway on that journey, so it's not a total disaster in kit wise, but it's just obviously a shame that we can't go and do it because obviously you were going on the friendly.
I was going on the friendly, yeah. So that was obviously that was a blow.
You started some hook tying, didn't you?
Yeah, loads. I'm well prepared, but for nothing.
Yeah, I know. But for the greater good, what do you think? Because obviously, as you read into it, there's more and more, and as we've been at home now for nearly 2 weeks. You sit there and you think, what is this all about? There's so many conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Is it a virus going around? Or are we just at home for a certain reason? Or you read so many things on there.
There's definitely a virus going around, isn't there?
Yeah, I know there is. But how much worse is it? Because obviously, as you look at it, and don't get me wrong, I think I'm looking at everything I hear and taking that as gospel. I'm going to have a little chocolate sausage Swiss roll thing.
Yeah.
I'm taking it as gospel, and I'm drinking it all in. But I'm seeing so many little conspiracy theories of why we're at home. And
there's always going to be that, though, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah.
There's always going to be that.
I think the message is stay at home, go out, maybe walk the dog or go for a walk, but stay at home and then don't go out. And I've got a couple of mates who still work sort of like last week, and I just thought...
Mac is still at work because he's an essential worker.
Is it?
Well, Amy's still at work. She's a teacher.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But Mac is still doing his build because buildings are still out on site, aren't they?
Yeah, I just wonder if... I know technically they can, and I think if you asked enough people, you'd get the right answer in the end with that.
Yeah.
With that job. But I think if you asked a few people, they'd say, oh, no, that's not an essential thing. Right. Then if you went and asked enough people, you'd get the right answer with that. Yeah. My mate was still working because he deals, he's not a builder, but he's an estimator. So he deals with obviously construction work. And last week he was telling me that it's sort of about people keeping people's jobs. The sites need to keep running in London, keep people's jobs, blah, blah. And I can understand that because people are going to be hit massively financially.
Yeah.
But I just said to him, it's a bit bigger than that. His missus works for the NHS as well, so he should understand. He's got a couple of kids, and it's almost like they were going on with their lives as normal because obviously his missus still had to go work.
It's not that, is it, Rob? It's not. Life isn't normal.
No. And I just sent him a message. He said, look, it's about people. I said, I would question any employer and question how much they valued you as a person if they were telling you to come in and work
at the moment
when there's all this going on.
Yeah.
I'd question you. I'd question yourself at that job if that was the case. If you weren't an essential worker.
Yeah.
I can understand people self-employed, going out and working. Build a gag into work because that's his money.
They're trying to get every last quid in the can before anything worse happens, aren't they?
Yeah, of course, and it's on their head. Be it they're only telling themselves to go and do something. They're not being ordered to do something. They're not ordering a staff member to go and do it. So I just wonder, as an employer, how much do you value your staff if you're telling them to come in and do work when really they don't feel comfortable doing it?
Yeah,
that's what I'd say with that.
Yeah, it's just the whole situation is just rubbish, isn't it? Let's be honest, absolutely rubbish.
It's unprecedented. No one knows.
Unprecedented. How many times have you heard that word over the last few weeks?
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Bit like drinking tea and eating a chocolate roll on camera.
The current climate is unprecedented.
What we need is a few cans here.
Yeah, few cans.
Sit there and have a drink and. But no, I am probably going to do some stuff. I am going on Tom's thing, Facebook.
I need to have a beer.
I'm going to have a beer
with Tom. Have a beer with Tom.
Yeah, tomorrow night, 9 p.m.
Right. I've not seen it. What happens? What happens on that one?
Just a Facebook Live, having a chat.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, just having a chat.
There's been loads, haven't there? I'll tell you who's good at the minute. Josh, the method.
Yeah, you like him, don't you?
Yeah, I think he's great. Up the tip. Bathtub fisheries. Obviously, it's a bit close to the bone a few times, but I think if you just take it for what it is, it's keeping a few people happy, isn't it?
Bit of light relief, isn't it?
It's a bit of light relief. I think my next job, I'm going to do some more filming, obviously, in my tackle shed. I call it the garage because it used to be. This is where the garage used to be, and we've got this built. So I keep calling it the garage, but I'm going to do some more filming in the shed. Obviously, I've got rigs, hooks, feed links, feeders, just little things about modifying feeders and things like that. Just little things like that. I think that'll interest people.
Definitely.
And then I've got a question and answer session with Dynamite this week. Probably happen again next week.
Yeah.
It's just all the companies. That's on Facebook, yeah. And all the companies, no one wants to go to sleep. So all the companies are thinking, we can't really push any products out there. We can't really get any products out to the shop. So that side of the business has died, really. But the side we can keep going is obviously the marketing side and the demand side.
Yeah.
Every company is trying really hard with what they can do.
Well, ultimately, obviously, I'm look after the Preston side of things, and ultimately, I think it's quite important that we keep it going. And I don't mean that from a business point of view. I mean that for the actual punter's point of view, because for a lot of people, that is their escape, so to speak.
Yeah, fishing is their life.
Yeah. So they want everything. The last thing they want to do is sit and watch Piers Morgan in the morning. They want to watch about fishing, don't they? So we're doing all we can just to keep some stuff going on.
Yeah. And and obviously they're all itching to get back out. And I guess that if there wasn't all the push about the industry and the drive for them to go, it might be on the last things on the list to do when they can go out, because they've sort of forgot about it. Yeah. You want people to still be going to go run to the local shops, because I tell you what, some local shops will be in trouble.
Yeah.
So it'd be a real shame for those shops. And I tell you, manufacturers.
Everyone will be.
Manufacturers. Let's talk about the business side. Your local shop. My dad had a local shop. He ran it, owing no one any money, which is very, very rare.
Very rare.
What a lot of local shops do is they run it all through the summer, and then when the winter comes, then they stop paying the bills. They buy everything sort of like 90 days, and they try and pay the bills once springtime comes. They tell the rep every time he comes in, once April comes, once the warm weather comes, we'll have a big order. We'll kick it off again. I'll pay off my debts, and then we'll kick it off again and run again.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a manufacturer that's offered a load of credit to all these local shops, which all manufacturers do, they offer a load of credit to these local shops. Well, every shop. Those local shops now, they can't pay anyone back because they'll be going bust, which means the manufacturer isn't going to get paid, which means that leaves the manufacturer in an awkward position. Where does that leave everybody?
And it's easy to look in our little bubble, isn't it? But you think, I've got friends who own pubs in Northampton. I've got one who owns a picture drone, which is a massive venue. And he was saying basically it could just go bust in like a matter of weeks with no one coming through the door.
I walked by the pubs. There's 2 pubs in our village. I walked by both of them yesterday, and I just thought, what are they doing? What are they doing now? Because they've got nothing, have they? Nothing coming in.
Nothing.
And obviously, I've not really even looked into the financial side of it. I know you get 80%, but only certain people can get 80% of their wages.
It's hard, isn't it? Because, there's the option there to do takeaway and stuff like that. But these places aren't really geared up for it anyway. And then do they only get a couple of members of staff in to staff it, and then it's really busy and they haven't got enough? Or is it really quiet and then they've got too many staff? It's really difficult.
That's business. The one thing I will say is, I know a lot of businesses run on a shoestring, but should they? Maybe if they were ran in a different way.
Yeah.
We're not even 2 weeks in yet.
No.
And business is talking about, that's it, I've got to close the doors for good, I've got to cut staff off, and I've got to take drastic measures. The business it probably wasn't a suitable business or a solid business if you can't cope with 2 weeks without any.
Well, the hospitality industry is famous for it, isn't it? Like, restaurants come and go all the time, don't they? Even when it's good.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, bars and restaurants are terrible.
Yeah, so I don't know. I worry for a lot of people after this, but let's try and swing it round, Rob. Let's get positive.
Swing it round, right. Let's talk about fishing then. Talk about, have you got any new products that you can show?
I've got shitloads.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
New cleanse box.
Right.
Hang on. Let me get one. I've got one full here. Just you stay there. Right. So we've got a new cleanse box for all these prep addicts out there.
Okay.
Nice strong magnets. Can you see that?
Nice.
I'd love to say I've tied all the muck cleanse, but I haven't.
What have you done? Whacked a load of pre-tides in?
Yeah, Rumble did it.
Did it? Good old Rumble.
Yeah, so
official Rumble, eh?
Loads of space. What Luke is doing, you can get a 4-inch and a 4-inch. So if you
so it's similar to my 18-inch hook length box, is it?
Yeah, it's 9-inch. Obviously, you can have a gap in the middle.
Oh, is it 9-inch?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
nice.
That's really nice. Really positive, click, waterproof, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Joe,
this is Joe, because obviously I haven't seen any of this. Will there be something where them sticks fit in a bigger box like that?
Not at the moment.
Right.
But maybe.
Maybe. All right.
Depends, doesn't it? If that's something that people are interested in, because do people want to carry a massive box? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I remember the time where everyone had a bigger box. Yeah. So, but obviously then Preston and Guru bought out the smaller 6-inch boxes, and that took over a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it, with them sticks in? So.
Yeah, with the sticks in. I just know, not that I'm a ready tied hook length guy, but those sticks, they're quite nicely tied.
They're perfect.
You know, and I know that some really good anglers use them, so there's no problem with the sticks. I remember a few years ago going to having a meeting with someone who wanted to maybe launch a bait company, not a bait company, a tackle company, sorry. And they were talking about products, and that was one of the products that I spoke to them, not with magnets, but something that clicked in, sticks that clicked into, and you could buy the pre-tides and then click them into a box. So it was a whole hook length system, but it wasn't with magnets. It wasn't, you know.
It's a brilliant system. It's one of them. Like, it makes things so easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. I can see the appeal, but obviously it's not for me because I'm not using hook lengths. But then I look at some people and they just put a stick in their drawer. You know, when they go method feeder fishing,
that's it.
They know what hook lengths they're using. They just put a stick. They don't even put a box in their drawer. They just put one of the sticks. Yeah,
we've got quite a few of the sponsor angles. I did one of these with Matty Dawes last night, and he only uses our pre-tied hook lengths. He doesn't tie one himself, and that's genuine. And he catches loads of fish. So
makes it easy.
Floats.
Yeah.
Nice range for the summer. There's a paste float, a diamond, carp shallow, an edge with a nice beacon on the top.
Yeah.
F1 shallow and a dibber.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I think your big fat bristle one would be good.
I can't wait to chop one down for mugging. Yeah,
it's not just match anglers, is it? It's your old boy that goes in the shop.
I want that float I can see.
I want a float I can see. And that's you know.
So we've got this.
Go on.
Which obviously we did the Revolution boxes, didn't we?
I use them, yeah.
Yeah, you use them. Well, this is obviously, it's just an empty one. So if you do buy the pre-tied feeder hook lengths, it'll go in here.
Right.
But also, it's a nice little tackle box. If you do keep a few feeders and bits and bobs in there.
Right, okay.
Oh, look, another new product.
Ah.
As if I planned this. So we've got 30 gram windows in XL and large.
Yeah.
You like these windows, didn't you?
Yeah, but were these the ones that you had last year, but they're being launched this year?
No, these are just new sizes, new weights, 30 grams.
New sizes, yeah.
Yeah, just 30 grams. They're the same sizes, but they're just...
I've seen the ones with the bigger window.
Yeah.
Because they're a bigger window than the originals, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lovely feeder. We've got...
Joe, how many window feeders have we got? From having one window feeder 5 years ago, how many window feeders is there now?
Millions.
You've got to be, they have got to be really good, haven't they, to do well now.
More plants for the car boys.
Yeah.
Nice and strong.
Yeah.
I think that's it, Rob.
Is it?
I think that's it for this little launch. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So there, nice little few bits there.
Beautiful.
Don't know when.
I haven't got anything to show you. I'll tell you what I could show you. Some floats, some little floats that I was sent. Are they in here?
Come on, let's see.
The floats I was sent. And I've had them on my. I've had them on my desk, and they were actually sent to me by mistake. They're meant for another angle.
Oh, they look good.
Yeah, they're a little like a mugging float prototype. Don't even know if I meant to show you these, but the mugging float prototype, or like pellet wag prototype, where the weight, because obviously, as you know, the further the weight is, and the closer the weight is to the actual attachment, the better it flies. It doesn't kick off at a side like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, with that sort of like long, semi-flexible spigot, it chucks a bit more accurate.
Yeah,
when you've still got the buoyancy there. And I said to them, look, why don't you make them in balsa? That'd be good. And then they got me some balsa out and said it's a load of rubbish. Put the balsa in, foam. Put the foam in next to the balsa, and we put the weights on. And they were exactly the same buoyancy.
Yeah.
This is the problem we have with foam, is just they break all the time. And these were just in an envelope sent to me one day from the guys at Midday by mistake. But I think they're still going to do them. I just think they're quite an interesting... You've seen probably that style of pellet waggler quite a few times, haven't you?
Yeah,
yeah. With various anglers. But I didn't know that there were a mainstream idea.
Yeah, nice.
Sort of thing. Beautiful little float. I can't... been nice to actually get out and try them. Yeah,
last week we could have done some right mugging last week.
The weather was beautiful, wasn't it? And I've started to love that last year. I really started loving it. That short rod, chucking at fish, light line. It was really enjoyable. Like fly fishing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mugging fish, real natural style fishing. Tell you what I've been doing: watching some YouTube videos, like John Wilson videos and things like that.
Have you been watching Passion for Angling?
I've There's only one on there, isn't there? A full length version.
Yeah.
But there's going to be another one put on this week.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
I love that passion for angling. I love any sort of fishing video which encaptures because obviously match style videos are very tactical. This is a tactic. This is a technique.
Bish bash bosh, isn't it?
Bish bash bosh. Learn some methods. Go out and catch some fish. But like go fishing. Passion for angling, maybe even that's why River Monsters and those sort of programs have done well, because it's about the fishing, but it's
story, isn't it?
It's the story that goes with it. It's fantastic, really good.
I love it. I wish there was more like storytelling in match fishing. It's just not the same, is it?
It's hard to, but I bet there's a way. There'll be
a way, but the problem is everything, like you were saying the other day, everything is built up to catch a fish, so a big bream or a big roach or something. It's not like, I went down the edge and caught 17 F1s. It's just a bit...
Yeah, no, it's I know. And they need to know, how do I catch those F1s?
Yeah.
That's what they need to know. They're not interested in why you've done it or the story or you driving there and all that sort of thing. They just want to know, was it pellet? What was your float set like? What was the shotting pattern? What was the flow? And I'm really surprised how... in match angling, we're really product driven as well. So if we've got a brand new product, people want to use it and people want to buy it. It isn't a case of just going out there fishing.
We all want an edge, don't we?
Sorry?
we're all looking for an edge. We're desperate for an edge.
Yeah, desperate for an edge.
I mean, I was terrible for it. I used to buy all sorts of stuff that I didn't need just because I like the look of it.
Yeah.
Bait additives.
Yeah, I know.
I think how many of them I've bought over the years.
Let's talk about edges. Obviously, I had a chat with Finn the other day.
Yeah.
About method feeders. Now, he was talking about his feeders.
Yeah.
Now,
you were part of that, weren't you?
He used to practice. Yeah, I was, but I was
a little bit later.
I wasn't years behind Finn. I was just months behind him. And then on my little sort of scene, I was doing what he was doing at making, but I was doing it on my little scene.
Yeah.
But it all come from Finn, because the first time I used a flat method feeder, it was a spring, right? Because my mate had said, I've seen a feeder.
Yeah.
And what we were doing, he was at Brooksby College and so was I.
Yeah.
That's where Finn used to go and practice, on the Brooksby College Lake. So I was studying fishery management. My mate he only stuck it for like 2 or 3 months. But we were studying fishery management at Brooksby College, and he used to walk up to the lake and have a walk around, and Finn would be up there sometimes practicing. And my mate Tom, he'd look it over and he'd see what Finn's using, and he'd come back and he'd go, oh, I've seen this. It's just a feeder. And he'd try and remember what it was, and obviously Chinese whispers on paper and the diagram would get a bit misconstrued, and he'd explain it to you, and we wouldn't know how to make it either. So we'd come up with these contraptions. And my first method feeder caught carp on a flatbed was with a big like coil of spring on top of a bit of lead.
Because he had one in that video. Did you see it?
Yeah, seen it. I've seen it. It wasn't as neat as that by any means. But then my mate, I think roundabout, we still have, we had mobile phones. He must have told me it was up there, or he'd text me something. He's told me Finn's up the lake again. This is a couple of months later. So I've gone up there, and obviously Finn's there. I've walked around, and he sort of like knew who I was, but not really, because I was obviously like 18, 19. I just started going makings maybe, but I was doing well locally. And so you could tell he was a little bit sheepish, but I seen his feeder, and it was the old flatbed with the old hoops on it. Real nice, like really nice feeder. So I've gone back, made some, and I looked at them and thought they're massive. But then I've scaled them down. I'll tell you what size they would be. The same size as a small Preston method, or same size as that 50p hybrid that I like to use in the winter.
Yeah.
Sort of like, 50 pence size.
A little dinky one.
A little dinky one. And I did him flat to start with like Finn. And I chucked them, and the wind caught them and kited them off to the side, just occasionally, but the wind caught them and kited them off to the side. And what I then ended up doing is just getting a shallow spoon and pushing the lead into the spoon. So I've got a slight chamfer on the base of the lead. And then I wasn't using piano wire because I felt that the ground bait wasn't sticking well enough. So I just wanted something slightly thicker. I was welding at the time. So I used 0.8 welding wire and hoops and put them in. And obviously, because I made a bit more of a spoon shape, I could get more aldite in there to hold the things in place. And then obviously the eye of a big sea hook as your thing with elastic, just as Finn's done it. And because they were smaller, they were perfect. I was going Holly Farm. It was only like a 20-metre chalk max up against the island. And when I look back, I was doing it with an 11-foot rod, 20 metres with an 11-foot rod. And I was thinking my 9-footer isn't strong enough to get it there, sort of thing. And those early days of method feeder fishing, several guys just had it to themselves.
Yeah.
And a massive part of it was getting your ground bait right, because obviously you just didn't have pellets.
Was it ground up pellets back then? Ground
up pellets. I had some. I had something that I used to put on them and put in them that I thought was unbeatable.
Yeah.
And I might still use it one day again, so I won't tell anyone that.
Oh.
I thought that was the
kid.
Yeah. So I'd use ground up expanders because I as gullible as I was. Obviously, Finn was sponsored by Census then.
Yeah. And
it was Census Crazy Bait. And I thought, Finn's using Census Crazy Bait. I want to sort of emulate that. Obviously, Finn was never using Census Crazy Bait. Right. Well, I guess he wasn't.
Pushed up belly.
So I wanted to emulate that. So I managed to get some expanders, a sack of expanders, grind them all up, add a little bit of fish meal to them as well, and then obviously what I was doing with my other stuff. And I'd do that every night before a match, and I'd do it all nice and fresh and make sure everything was bang on. And the ground bait, you'd mould it around the feeder, you chuck it in a bucket, between the ages, right? Do you know between the ages, and you'd be the same, between the ages of 17 say, 17 and 25, while everyone else was out clubbing, I was there with a method feeder, throwing it in a bucket of water every night, or grinding up expander pellets, and watching how it broke down. And I had this sack of pellets, and with these pellets, they were bright yellow. You know the pellets. They were bright yellow. And they were absolutely unbeatable. They broke down beautifully. And then another sack come, because I'd run out of those, and they were sort of like a darky brown colour. And I tell you what, they were absolutely shit in comparison. Absolutely terrible in comparison. They didn't break down. I just didn't catch fish. They clagged around the feeder. They were absolutely terrible. And the pellets I used originally, they were just so much better than this new batch. So, you know, when people are looking at ground baits and this ground up sort of like expander ground baits and different pellets and things like that, if you get a good batch, I always buy or get as many delivered as I can. It's so important, isn't it? It's so important. So when I get a good batch of pellets, I just say, look, can you send me as many, can you send me 10 bags of those, please? Because I know that they're going to be handy. Yeah. You're going to use them for the next few months.
I remember a few years ago when it was on the mag, me and Alex did, because obviously Alex Bones came up through that.
Bones, yeah, he was into it. Yeah,
into it. I've actually got somewhere all these original drawings.
Well, Bones was different to me, whereas I had to sneakily go about doing it and find it out for myself. Whereas Bones was obviously creative-minded himself, but he had Finn as a very close, he's tight to Finn. So Finn would tell him what to do, and then Bones would put his own twist on it. Yeah. And Bones was going Packington. Yeah. And doing really well there with method feeders. Finn was going Makins, doing really well there, and I was going sticking to my little Holly Farm and just sticking there.
Well, we did a feature there a few years ago, and I was using all shop bought stuff, shop bought feeders, and he made some feeders himself again. And he went to CC more and he bought all the ground baited bits and he made his own ground. And I'm not joking, the ground bait was beautiful. You'd never be able to sell it because it'd be 10 quid a bag.
Yeah.
But it was, and he caught loads of fish. And I just thought, is this, we're missing something here?
I used to do loads. There was loads of little tips and tricks. So I'd be fishing away. And because my match revolved around a method feeder or maybe late on at 5 metres, that was my match. And what I'd do is I'd fish a method feeder. This was before we even knew about catching that early few fish short as well. Yeah. So we just fished method feeder, and you'd wait for everyone around you to come onto the pole. Because obviously pole was everyone wants to just get on that pole, like 30-metre pole, fishing in the middle of nowhere as well. So they weren't catching much. And I'd just chuck it up against the far bank. My casting then, I'd love to be able to cast like that now. My casting then was unreal. And just keep plopping it in, wait for your tow rounds. You get a run of fish, and then all the little tips and tricks that you do. Just different hook baits. So I'd used to catch nearly all my fish on a single maggot on a size sort of like 20 hook, which if you
never do now, would you?
You wouldn't do it now. I don't know if there's more silvers in venues now or what. I don't know. Is there?
I don't know.
There must be a few extra silvers because that's all we used to fish. And I'd used to chuck out a grain of corn and not get a bite. Yeah. Then you put your maggot on, and then you tow around with a 2-pound carp. So I always wonder now how many fish I'm missing out on when you do put like a wafter on a grain of corn or even a 6mm pellet. How many fish are you missing out on when you do that sort of thing?
Yeah, I went to Barston the other week and I fished for a good long spell with wafters and stuff like that. I was catching odd fish, but when you've been Barston loads of times saying it's just not really happening. And I thought I'll just put a single maggot on and see what happens. And I caught a fish every chuck in. Not all carp, but like a lot of bream, F1s, and I just I'm missing something here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look at Boston and they see the videos and the mags and the magazine articles, and at the end of the day, there's a big catch shot of
big carp,
some with 5 double-figure carp, and that's how we fish. That's the fish that we've got to target at Boston all of a sudden. But Boston, and like a lot of venues, there's millions of skimmers, F1s. This time of year, the weights are, if you catch 25, 30 pound, you've done exceptionally well. Yeah. It's hard to just sit there on a method feeder especially on 90% of the pegs at Boston, you're just not going to catch your fish. So it's about just catching your fish and getting bites. I always think someone, like Des, when he goes fishing, I always think that's how he fishes. He just aims to get bites first, and then works his way in from there.
Yeah, Des,
it's always a nice way.
He likes to fish a little feeder, that 30-gram small Preston method, which catches loads of fish, that feeder. And he likes using maggots on the hook.
Yeah.
And he just likes to, like you say, get bites.
It's simple, isn't it? And when you think we're using, obviously, there's reasons we use a size 10 hook on bigger baits. But I look at the hooks I used to use; they were tiny.
What hooks would it have been back then?
I used a B5. What's the barbless version? B610, I think it was.
B610, yeah.
Is that barbless? That's the barbless, or B? Yeah. Is it B710 or B610?
B610 is like the 611 but barbless, isn't it?
No, it was a crystal bend, like a B520.
Oh, B510.
B510, but a stronger one.
Yeah.
Right, slightly stronger. I'll tell you, I used to. The average size of carp was like 2 to 4 pound, I'd say.
Yeah.
Of every other fish, I used to have to bend it back in. that's how weekly were. A size 18 or 20, and you'd used to use like a 16 if it was absolutely solid in the middle of summer.
Yeah. It's mad. I always remember when I was going Whiteacres a lot, and it was when QM1s first came out, and I was with Guru at the time.
Yeah.
And
you were sponsored by Guru, weren't you?
Yeah, in the early days, yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to use a 16 QM1 all the time, which is a tiny hook, isn't it?
I remember. You used to use it on the pole as well, on the Wangler.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'd never even think about putting that hook on anymore.
No, well, when you look at QM1, whenever I take anyone out coaching, whenever they ask, I just say don't use anything below a 14 because of the way the gape is. I always say, look, they're a brilliant hook. We should get over a 14, and probably the hook to use. But there's better hooks for smaller. But I'm not too sure because when you look how sharp they are and
it's the same with like the PR36 type hook. Obviously, we use that a lot. It's KKM now.
Yeah.
And like when I think back to my old method days, when I used to live up north and it was ground bait, that's all I used to use, an 18 PR36.
Was it?
Yeah.
What on the hook though? What tide knot is not with?
It was either single maggot, bite the hair off, banded 6mm pellet, expander, or a white boilie every now and again. No wafters, just a white shellfish.
When you say bite the band off, talk to me about band versus lasso as well.
Yeah, I love a lasso.
Yeah, I was thinking that yesterday. I've got a load of time now to tie some gear up because usually I just whack a band on.
Yeah.
And my mate Sean Huggins, who I rate Sean for his ideas and how he fishes, and he really thinks about presentation. That's all he thinks about, how to present these bait to the fish. And he'll spend, look, if he's been at home for these last 2 weeks, he might have made 2 rigs up because it takes that long making a rig up. It's unreal. But it'd be absolutely perfect. And he'll use the same rig for probably 2 or 3 sessions and like be really careful about how he packs it away and like how he fishes.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he gets the results. He's just so anal about all his anything to do with presentation. And he's mad on lassos. So he was years ago, I remember him cutting with a little hacksaw grooves in all his pellets for even just like a bit of line to sit inside it, because he wanted that lasso, he wanted it to grip, and didn't want the line to be on the outer edge of the pellet. He wanted it to be hidden. So with a little hacksaw, cut a little groove in everything. And then he cut other grooves in. So when he slipped his hook underneath either a band or the line, the hook went in the pellet and come out. So inside the hard pellet and come out. Just things like that. And you look at it and think, that must make a difference.
Yeah, well, I always remember, I was going Makins quite a lot, about 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. And that was all hard pellet fishing. And then you got to use the 6mm greens there, haven't you?
Yeah. And they go mad for those green pellets, don't they?
They love them, yeah. And for whatever reason, it was all hard pellets at the time. And I drew really well about 4 weeks on the bounce, which is brilliant because you get to really work it out, didn't you? And I had 2 days where I was on a fishy chuck, hard pellet fishing, and the difference between lasso pellet and banded pellet was like night and day.
Was it?
And like you were going out catching, and like you break a lasso off and you land in there, and I'm like on a fishy chuck, and you're like, I'll just put a band on. And you put the band on, and it just sits there, and you're like, can't be. And you put a lasso back on, and I'm sure it's in your head.
Yeah.
But is it? And then you go back out.
90% of it's in your head.
Yeah.
All of it's in your head. But I tell you what, I know what you're saying. The lasso, it's got to be better, hasn't it?
Yeah, and the same when I used to go Shearsby Valley a lot, and before I took the islands out, and it was really technical, hard pellet fishing, and lassie was always best, always.
Well, I managed to I took the GoPro out, I think last winter, and went to a clear venue. And I just put it down, and I fished right up against the screen of the GoPro, just to see if I could get some underwater footage. And as it was, the water was it was murkier than it feels. And when you ever do any underwater stuff, as you know, you need it gin clear for it to be any good. Mm. But one shot I got was I could just see the pellet, and it was just sitting off the bottom, and I could just see the pellet with my hook bait on it, because the float I was using was a bit too light. And what had happened is the tow had picked up, it had rode my float up a little bit like that, and as it's caused an arc in the line, and my hook bait had risen off the bottom, so I could just see this hook bait, and it was sort of almost dancing. There was hardly any wind. The hook bait was doing this, and I thought, that looks so unnatural. And then I looked at it, and obviously the hook bait is hanging just below the hook. There's a massive band around the hook bait, and I try and use the smallest bands possible, really thin bands. And I thought, that looks so unnatural. A fish is never going to take that. And then just as I thought that, big fish come down and sucked it in. And I just thought, why did it take that when it can clearly see all these other pellets that look perfect? And then there's this one dancing up and down with a band around it. It looked so ugly. It looks so ugly.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because then you got your anglers like Jane Hughes and that, and they use bands all the time, and they catch more than anybody. So it's one of them, isn't it? I think it's what you've got confidence in, it. But I believe it, that it makes a difference.
Yeah. No, I wonder if it's just a laziness aspect, because I do believe it makes a difference as well, but I always end up fishing with a band. Rare I'm fishing for F1s though, it's always sort of proper carp. If I fish a banded paddle, it's usually like Glebe or somewhere like that, or maybe a hayfield sort of style venue where it's proper carp fishing.
Yeah.
I wonder if it makes as much difference with proper carp.
But to be fair, most of my hard pellet fishing was
carp.
It wasn't
Yeah.
But it is a pain. They are a pain.
Yeah, I bet there's a nice way of tying them up. I bet there's a really good way of tying them up that we don't know about. I bet there's a brilliant lasso knot.
Rob.
What's up? You got your delivery? Have you got your delivery?
Yeah, I've ordered a load of beer and it hasn't. I thought it was it.
Oh, I've got a load of beer here. I've got a load of Stellas.
Have you?
It's in the semi-built extension.
Is it?
Yeah, because we've got the back door boarded up.
Yeah.
The builders were going to come through. Obviously, we've got an extension being built. Upstairs is just about. It's been plastered and everything's sorted, so we just went round it with a bit of painting. First fix has been done. But downstairs, last Monday, they were due to come and knock through. And I just had to quickly ring them Sunday night and said, look, I think this is before it was announced, you can't go out, can't do anything. Yeah. I rang and I said, look, reading between the lines, I think we're heading to be sitting in our houses for a long time. And also my youngest lad, he does have his breathing problems. Yeah. If he gets a cold, he has breathing problems. So sometimes we have to go to the hospital, or we have to monitor him quite heavily. The last thing I want is for him to get a cold, and then we have to go down the hospital, and that causes a whole world of problems. So I just said to the builders, look, don't come round and knock through, because we need a kit for the next 2 months. If you're not here and we haven't got a kitchen and just a big hole in the wall, that will cause problems. But we've still got the back door boarded up. And we're semi-living in a building site. The house is bigger than it was, but it's a building site still.
Yeah. It's just hard, and like we're having our drive block paved, but it's all just that to come to a stop.
Have they not come round then? They can't work.
He's an old boy, the guy who does it. He's in his 70s, and he's like, I just don't want to take the risk. And he's in the same boat. If he doesn't work, he's not getting paid. But he's like, what can I do? I've got to look after himself. So
yeah, I'll tell you what, if you need to be fortunate that you've got some money, or you've not overstretched yourself, or because people who are struggling for money, they're going to really struggle.
Yeah.
Really
hang on a minute, we've slipped off the positive.
Yeah, go on.
Where are we going next? So we've had the lasso chat. What else do we think makes a difference? Let's have a rod chat, Rob, because...
Rod chat, go on.
You've had a lot of messing about with rods recently. And I know. I was looking at on my setup the other week, and I was like, I could do with getting rid of a few rods out of my armory, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like 11-foot SL, I love that, but I don't really the 10-footer. Not really. I don't really need that.
I'd have thought you'd gone for the 10-foot SL and then the 11-foot.
No, I've gone for the 11-foot SL just because I just like the extra length, to be honest, when you're fishing for skinner.
Right.
So the 10-foot, I'd probably use more if I was going F1 fishing all the time.
Yeah. So what do you use as an 11-footer then now for if you were going Boston, say?
Do you really need one?
Yeah, I use an 11-footer at Boston.
Yeah, but that's like a power 11-footer, isn't it? What you use?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'd just use my 12-6 Supera.
Right.
To be fair, which is what I'm trying to do, like cut it down so I haven't got as many rods.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm looking at them now. I've got a stack of rods.
Well, you know how good that 12-6 Supera is. It's a beautiful rod, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely rod. I don't know if I'd want to use it for like method feeder fishing though. I'd rather, those CTX that I use, those Free Spirits, because they're 11 foot. I just think that when you're catching a skimmer, this situation. You wind a skimmer back, you get to netting range, shock leader clicks through your rings, you go click, 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 2 more winds, you lift up, and you net the fish.
Yeah.
And just sometimes with a longer rod, you lift up and the fish drops off, and you like try and scoop it, and you can't get it. You can't quite reach it because it's without reach, especially with those skimmers. And I base a lot of my basking fishing around the skimmers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I thought them SLs when I seen them were a very soft rod.
Very soft, yeah.
What's wrong with the Superior, 11-6 Superior?
Nothing's wrong with 11-6 Superior, but I just don't know if it's a rod that I don't really need. You know what I mean? I want to have a set of rods that I can take to different places. You get
I know. I've got that many setups now. I've got.
You'd end up needing 50 reels.
Well, I'm fortunate that I've got a load of reels. So I've got a load of castisms. That's one of the reasons I've got a load of castisms. Probably got like 10 castisms, which another shitload of money that I've had to spend. Just because they don't come with a spare spool either. No. So I've got a load of castisms.
Spool's about 100 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're 60 quid for a spool.
Yeah.
10 castisms. I've got some old Shimano reels that are beautiful. Before the other wave of reels come through. But I've got some old Shimano. I've actually got some Preston ones as well.
Yeah.
And I've now got a hard case that I try and take places. It's got my commercial fishery stuff in. Then I've got some like 11-foot natural venue style rods.
Yeah.
Soft tips. Then I've got my distance setup.
Yeah.
And I try and section everything off like that. Then I've got a few oddball rods and reels, but like 14 footers and things like that with specialist gear. But I've tried to streamline, but it's so hard. You won't.
It is hard.
Yeah, I don't. What venues are you going to be fishing when you get back out?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's just, I don't know. It made me laugh when I was speaking to Finn, obviously, and I know his fish is very light. It's only
he fishes one or two places.
Yeah, 1 or 2 places. And I love it. He's got a 320 reel. Doesn't even use a big reel like we all use now. And he uses a 10-foot rod, and he's like, I just use that, mate. And it's like, I wish I could be that guy.
It's so simple, Finn is. It's so simple, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
He's really clever, but he's like so simple with. He comes across as just this really simple daft guy, but he's so clever going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a lot going on. Yeah, so I think unless you're going to 1 or 2 venues, you do need a range of gear.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You do need a range of gear, and I think it's good for the game as well. Keep the rod market sales up.
Yeah. I think I'm probably trying to cut down on. I'm just trying to find something to do, Rob. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, you need to be doing your video editing. I need to be doing my videos as well.
Have you got anything in the bank?
I've got nothing in the bank I went out before this all happened. I went out and shot that video at Larford.
Yeah.
Because we fished the Golden Rod final, and I was driving home thinking, I've done that wrong, And then I sat there the day after. This is when we were being told there's problems with the virus.
Yeah.
And I sat there the day after, and I thought, this could be a problem. I've heard like Italy had been locked down.
Yeah.
We could be in the same situation. So I went off on the Tuesday, drove back to Larford and shot a video of what I should have done, and put that up. because I just thought I needed something. I needed some content actually on the bank, and it was something I wanted to do because I knew I'd made a mistake when I fished the match. I just knew it.
Yeah.
And I think those sort of things, it's nice to be a bigger man and admit where you've got it wrong, because so many good anglers, they've got such a massive ego that they just go, oh, rubbish peg, didn't catch out, rubbish peg. I think, no, you made a mistake there, mate.
I had it on that silverfish final. I fished a nice match, to be fair. Caught plenty of fish. Had a lovely day's fishing. But I didn't give myself a chance of winning, which is stupid, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I know, but could you have won it where you were?
Not sure if I could have won it. Could have definitely framed, though.
Right.
Could definitely frame.
What, just by being a bit more aggressive?
Yeah, it wasn't a lack of being aggressive. It was just probably bait choices in the wrong parts of my swim. Like, I think pellets would have been better short. There was just the fishing was just a lot better than I think most of us ever thought it would be.
No, I didn't think it was. When you sent me the picture, I just thought, when you told me where you drew, I thought, well, you're going to be catching like double figures, and then we obviously sent me your catch picture at the end.
Yeah, nearly £30, and like Andy May fish pellets next to me and caught loads, so it's just...
I always remember, because obviously you know how I fish, I like to try and fish a slightly more, maybe try and win it on, certainly used to anyway, not so much now maybe. I'm a bit more cautious now. But I always remember a match at Evesham. It was the first match I fished at Evesham. I got an invite for the John Smiths. Yeah. And I drew peg one, or the peg, and I fished feeder all day. It was a bit of water on it as well. Yeah. Looking back, probably should have won the match. But
did Gary Miller win it that year?
Gary Miller won it that year, yeah. I think was I second or third? I think I was second or third.
I reckon Willsmore framed up that day as well.
I think he did. I
bet he caught bleak.
He caught bleak, yeah. And I bossed this big feeder in all day. Did it totally wrong because my river feeder fishing wasn't up to scratch then, and did it totally wrong. But I caught 2-3 bream and a chub and a couple of eels and things like that. And Roger Mortimer, was he the editor of the mag, or was he doing? He was still obviously DHP.
Yeah, I think it'd have been Harold by then.
Yeah, I reckon Roger Mortimer come down afterwards. Yeah, it was Harold. Roger Mortimer come down afterwards, and I said, I'll tell you what, Roger, I think I've done that wrong. He said, listen, mate. He said, I've walked the whole bank. He said, there's only 3 or 4 of you actually fishing to win this match. He said, you haven't done anything wrong. Because everyone else, because there's crowds there especially, so many people just go into this mode of, I don't want to embarrass myself, I just want to catch a fish and take it easy and go through the motions. And I actually did try and win the match that day, which I don't think a lot of people try.
No, it's funny that. It's funny you should say that, because obviously I grew up fishing with Adam Richards. Yeah. And if I could put my money on anybody to win a match or come last, he's the guy. Because that's how he fishes. He only fishes to win. Yeah. So if he doesn't win, he just totally bombs out, but he does not give a shit that he's blown out. He just go again the next time.
No, it's got to be like that, I think, especially on individual matches. Yeah. Especially, does Adam fishes for a team, does it? Does he fish for a team?
No, never has done. He had a little spell with Bounds, but it didn't really...
It probably wouldn't work out, because that sort of anglers, they're not, as good as they are, they're not necessarily team anglers.
Yeah. I'd love to have that. I haven't got that. Whereas he's just got, I'm just going to win. I'll throw meat in my float, I'll do whatever, and everything's positive. Like, whereas I'd be like, I'll probably use 13 Ola today because I don't want to lose any fish, I don't want to pull out of any. He's totally about getting him in as fast as possible.
Hang on. No, hang on. I went to take a picture because your mouth went, like that. But my phone's, we've got a bad signal now because my phone, we're not tethered.
We're not tethered anymore.
No, we're not tethered anymore. So yeah, I used to be like that in individual matches. Yeah. But not. If I was going to Fishermania, I was one of those guys that if I drew rubbish, I'd fish for an hour, then pack up. I was one of those guys. Yeah. I just wanted to win the match.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rob, the internet's gone really squirrely now.
Pants, yeah. So we're going out fishing again. People are going to subscribe to both our channels, are they?
Yeah, we're going to do this again though next week, maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week, and we'll have some topics to talk about. Yeah, and if anyone has got topics they want us to talk about, sorry,
we'll get it next week.
Yeah, do it then. We'll get someone below if anyone wants us to talk about a certain topic, they can comment below.
Yeah.
Is our opinions on certain topics or certain people or certain venues.
Yeah.
So it gives us obviously some bits and bobs to talk about.
No holds barred.
No holds barred. Maybe a bit of potty language too, if necessary. Yeah, and we'll do it next week, and hopefully we'll be able to get fishing again.
I'll tell you what I feel like at the minute. I've got 10p in the meter and it's running out because your internet's getting worse by the second.
Is it? Right, okay then. Right. Yeah, it's great my end. All right.
Cheers, Rob. Subscribe, everybody. See you later.
Subscribe.
See you later, Rob.